Hello everyone and welcome to O2 Inside Line. Live from Twickenham, we are in the Blueroom just outside Twickenham Stadium. It's the last game of the autumn series. It's England versus South Africa. It's a massive game. And I'm joined by Danny Kerr and Mo Hunt. Welcome, gang. Danny, we'll come to you first. This is a huge game. It's England versus South Africa. It's a repeat of the World Cup final where they won. Is this a game of redemption?
Let's hope so. Yeah, it's England's first chance back at Twickenham against the world champions, against a team that snatched that World Cup away from them. Well, won it fair and square, to be fair. But it's a huge game. Whenever you play South Africa, you know you're in for an incredibly physical game, and there's a lot of big men in that team, and they're going to be wanting to hurt our little guys. So yeah, I'm hoping our little guys gets protected, especially my little friend Marcus Smith at number 10.
Mo, it's going to be a big game today, and like Danny said, they're a physical team. They're an intimidating team. There was one moment when South Africa played Scotland and they replaced the front row before half-time, and then 3 more rhinoceros came on in the pack. They're just physically big, but they're very, very good rugby players as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're just relentless in everything they do. I think one of the best in terms of the line speed. They get off the line and they're just constantly hustling that breakdown as well. So, yeah, the back row have got a massive job today, as has Ben Youngs, to make sure that that ball is still flying around, because England need to loosen the game up. They need to get it out to their backs and they need to play a bit of rugby.
Danny, there are a handful of players still in the squad who were in that England team against South Africa in the final. Did that final hurt the boys?
Yeah, it did. It did. The scars will be there for a while, probably till 2023, when hopefully England go one better and win the World Cup this time. But there's a lot of experience in there. And when you lose big games, you learn an awful lot, probably more than you do when you win the games. So, look, England know what they're up against today. They're up against a big beast, a physical side, a side that do the basics incredibly well. And as Mo said, if England can loosen the game up a little bit, play with some tempo, I do think this South African defence can be stretched. So fingers crossed we see the ball thrown around a bit.
Eddie has said that he would like this last game before the Six Nations. He said he'd like to wrap up the Autumn Nations series with a Springbok scalp. That's a big statement.
Yeah, it's huge. I think everyone here, everyone that's coming into Twickenham, the 82,000, they're all going to be wanting to see that. And it's a home ground. Hopefully people can get behind them, and that will just give England that extra boost. But it's a massive task ahead of us. Like, let's not shy away from the fact that this South African side are huge. They're going to take some beating today.
Danny, what's he like as a motivator? What will he be doing now with the lads in the dressing room?
Yeah, Eddie, just before you go out to play, he's what I thought he was the best at. He'll just come around and give you a little snippet of information, just one little thing in your head to say. For me, it might be, look at the short sides. They sometimes get a little bit lazy. You might get some opportunities there. And he'll just put a little nugget of information in your head that he's seen from the 1,000 hours of video footage he's watched. And then it normally works. He knows what he's talking about. But he'll just be getting the boys going. And then he'll say, right, it's on you now, boys. You lead the team. Courtney, go and lead by example. Do what you do best. Get the roar of that Twickenham crowd going and hopefully get them onto a win.
But Natasha, let's be honest, going into this game, you don't really need much motivation to go head-to-head with the South Africans, do you?
No, you absolutely don't. Like, you've mentioned it before, and I think for England at that World Cup as well, the biggest game was against New Zealand. They were almost a little bit exhausted emotionally, physically from that game going into the final. We were as
fans.
Everyone was. So I think for them, they've got more to come, and it's just whether they can match them up front in that set-piece battle, whether they can then throw the ball around, like we've mentioned, just loosen it up a little bit.
All right, let's take a look at the squad, shall we? Here it is. This is the team. Danny, first impressions, what do you think?
Yeah, it's an exciting team. It's a really exciting team. Obviously, the pack, there's a bit of pressure with Jamie George not being there this weekend, but Jamie Blameyer with the unbelievable try-scoring record he's got comes in. Courtney Lawes, skipper in the side, I think's huge. He's a guy that will genuinely be watching cartoons on the way to Captain England against South Africa on the bus. He's so laid back, he's horizontal, but what he does do, he leads by example. He'll put everything out there for the boys, and boys follow him.
Yeah, and we've got Courtney at captain, Tom Curry and Henry Slade are our vice-captains, and a big week for Maro Toje, because last week he got his 50th cap, and this week he's been put forward. He's named one of the finalists for World Rugby's Player of the Year, which is a huge compliment.
Not a bad little accolade, yeah. I wouldn't know anything about that, mate. I've never been mentioning that. But no, it's incredible. And he is. And he's shown it for years. I think not just on the pitch. Obviously, you get to see what he does on the weekend. But having been in camps, having been in sides with Maro, the level of expert. He's an expert in his field. He really is. He's a guy that you want on your team. He's a nightmare to play against, and hopefully he's a nightmare for a few Springboks today.
And Natasha, Marcus Smith is back at 10.
Yeah, love to see it.
You do love to see it. And Danny, you said earlier on when we were chatting that he's a special talent. He's got a lot of natural gifts as a rugby player.
Yeah, he was blessed when he was born with a natural way of playing the game. He sees the game differently. He sees the game a bit differently to other fly halves. He's got that pace. He's got the goose step. He's a guy that gets people off their seats and wants to play attacking rugby. So I hope the shackles are off. He gets to throw the ball around.
Natasha, we'd be hoping that he's going to play a pivotal role today, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's at his best when he's got a little bit of time on the ball, when he's coming out the back door, and when he's got people running off him. So hopefully England can bring that to the fore. I'd love to see him just be himself. What he's doing in the Harlequins quarters, he's been unbelievable this year. Some of his tries from chip and chase, stuff like that. So it'll be brilliant to see him doing that in an England shirt, because I think last week he was a little bit quiet for him, but rightly so, playing against a team like Australia.
We had a lot of penalties against Australia, Danny. How do we eradicate that?
Yeah, I think penalties are normally caused by you putting yourself under pressure. So I think, as Mo said, Ben Youngs is, I think, going to be vital today to take the pressure off Marcus, put the boys in the right areas of the field, to not give away penalties. Because if you give penalties anywhere in your own half against the Springboks, Andre Pollard's going to knock 3 points over, or they're going to go to the corner and they're going to maul you over. So England have got to be incredibly disciplined, but play when the chance is to play. Because the South Africans come up and in. If you can get outside them, get it to our speedsters, England have got a good chance today.
I don't think there's a more beautiful sight at Twickenham than watching Johnny fly down that wing, is there?
No, it's amazing. And the little dives as well into the corner, he just absolutely loves it. And yeah, he does light it up when he gets ball in hand. So like Danny said, those little balls over the top. And what I love about Marcus Smith as well is he isn't scared to put it on his boot and just go cross-field into the corners. So hopefully we see that today.
Fingers crossed. We're all hoping for an England win, but it's not going to be easy.
It's not, no. They are the best team in the world they're playing against. But this is Twickenham. This is England v Twickenham, the last game of the series. I'm so jealous of the boys sat in that change room now. Obviously, I love being here with you guys, but I'd quite like to be running out and having a go at these Springboks.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got some questions from fans. Danny, on a big game like this is from James. How do you psych yourself up?
I try not to think about it, I'll be honest. I do all my prep sort of in the week and make sure I'm ready. So on game day, hopefully I can just enjoy it and try and take the pressure off. I get nervous excitement, but I think it shows that you care. And I just want to get a first touch on the ball. Luckily, me and Mo both play scrum half. We get to hog the ball as much as we want. So we get to touch the ball early doors. And that's my motivation, is get the first touch on the ball, making sure it's a good one.
Is it like second nature? Once you're on there, obviously you're singing the national anthem. You've done your prep. Hopefully you know what's coming. You've studied the film. Do you get more relaxed once you've touched the ball?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think that first touch, like Danny said, and you've got that pass away and it's nice and they're carrying. And yeah, as soon as you've got that first touch, you kind of just settle the nerves and all of the noise, it sounds weird, but all of the noise is gone. You can't really hear anything else. You're just back into the zone and playing your rugby. So yeah, definitely.
Mike wants to know, what was your best England game, Danny, and why? And why?
My best England game would have been France away 2016, where we won the Grand Slam. A few of us had a fair bit of heartache when it came to Grand Slam deciders. So then to finally do it, I actually got picked to start for once, which was nice as well in that game. And I managed to get over for a try from a little nugget of information Eddie gave me just before the game. And I went through and scored and got to run one in from 40 metres at the Stade de France. So,
and that was a darn good party afterwards, wasn't it?
It was a very good party, Vernon.
I can't remember much from it, but it was a darn good party. Natasha, Becky wants to know, what is your pre-match song on your headphones?
Oh, I've actually got a few playlists, but there's one song that I listen to that just takes me back to my family. Not going to share the song because it's quite personal to me, but yeah, like my grandma used to sing it, and so it takes me back to there, and it just kind of like resets me and makes me feel close to them, which is
so
nice.
It gets rid of the white noise. It just eradicates everything, puts you in your zone, and then you're ready to go.
Definitely, and then it's a bit of rap after that, so it's very different, but yeah.
Explain to us, Danny, what it's like singing the national anthem here at Twickenham.
Yeah, it's probably the thing I miss the most. That feeling of standing there, playing for your country. The worst thing is, actually the best thing, but the worst thing is you get to look out and see your family are all in the seats and you can see them in front of you. and that gets you sometimes. So sometimes I can't sing because I'm holding back some tears, but it's an incredible feeling to see the people, your mum and your dad and your wife and your kids that have been through everything with you, that they can share that moment with you. It's a special feeling.
Yeah, it's a huge compliment as well to your rugby game, the fact that you're playing for your country.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And just to echo that, I'm exactly the same. Like, so often you stand there with the girls' arms around and just look up and get super choked. So, yeah, it's got me a few times as well.
Oh, mega. I'm envious. OK, final word. Kickoff is, 30 minutes away? Let's break it down quickly, Danny. We've mentioned a couple of things so far. For England to be victorious, they have to...
They've got to be very well disciplined, but they've also got to throw the shackles off. When it's on to play with speed, play with tempo, make these big South Africans run around and chase them and tire them out. And hopefully Marcus Smith pulls the strings and has a worldie.
Fingers crossed. Natasha, are there any holes, any gaps in this South African team that we can kind of get into, really?
I think one thing's for certain, the gap isn't at the set piece, so England just need to make sure that they're really, really solid at that, making sure they look after their own ball, whether that's in and away really quick at the scrum or just quick line-outs, however they keep that tempo high. I think that's super important.
But the South Africans just wear you down, don't they? They
do.
Just physically wear you down. So we're going to be playing till the very, very end.
Yeah, you have to score tries. England have to score tries today if they're going to beat South Africa. If it's just penalties, I think South Africa can edge it, but I hope England throw it around, we see some tries, and we go out and properly beat the Bokke.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh.
I want to play. I'm pumped.
He's ready to go. All right, so that's it from O2 Inside Line Live. Thank you very much for joining us, Danny and Mo. There's more stuff coming up on all our social channels and the England Rugby channels as well. Stay focused, keep locked on those, because we'll be coming back at the end of the game with some interviews from some of the guys that have played, and hopefully we'll be having some victorious conversations, fingers crossed. But for now, Danny, Mo, thank you very much. Everyone, thank you very much in the Blue Room, really appreciate it, and we will see you later.